Promised Neverland. This is created by
You've lived your whole life in an orphanage that's hiding a deadly
Be
secret.
Animated.
What do you do when your world is flipped upside down and you realize you're destined to die? There's no way outside of this place, and not a single person can be trusted. I'm going to break down the mistakes made, what you should do, and how to beat the promised Neverland. These kids are about to get a brutal surprise. Emma here is an innocent 11-year-old girl. While looking through this gate, her and two other kids begin to wonder about what's outside the concrete walls of their home. The next day, she wakes up to a bunch of kids running around a house. These kids are all orphans, and none of them have ever seen the outside world. While messing about, she bumps into a friendly woman who they call Mom. The kids gather together and play a game. But while playing, Emma and Norman here reach a short gated fence. According to Mom, passing the fence and leaving the orphanage is off limits until you turn 12 years old. The kids wonder about what's behind the gate, but they don't know that nothing is beyond there other than certain death. This adorable little girl is the next lucky candidate to leave the orphanage. All the kids say their goodbyes before Mom takes her way to the gates. Gathering in the food hall, they notice that the little girl left her bunny toy behind. Being the nice children that they are, these two run after Mom and the girl to give it back. By the time they reach them, they find the gates open and see a truck. Looking in the back of the truck, they find the same little girl that just left, but there's only one difference: she's been brutally killed. Before they can even process what just happened, some deadly-looking monsters open the gates.
Dun dun dun. She's dead. She's a goner.
Actually an operation that raises the kids until they're taken off and eaten by these monsters, which are referred to as demons. Mom has been in on the whole thing, working with the demons to raise and feed the children to them. The two kids escape back to the home, but accidentally leave the toy bunny under the truck, which is found by the demons. And her. Mom now knows someone's finally seen her. One second I'm living a relatively normal life and playing with my friends. The next second I see a cute little girl decimated by some traumatizing creatures. If I'm Emma, I would honestly give it a day. This orphanage is the only thing I've ever known, and I'm only 11 years old. Once the shock of seeing a 6-year-old's lifeless corpse has finally passed, I would get to planning. Obviously, something is seriously messed up in this place, and any adult I see can't be trusted. The only adult in this place right now is Mom, and she's been tricking us our whole lives. We should have known, though. As far as it goes, no kid has ever come back to say hello or thank you for all the hard work Mom's provided. With such a big orphanage, I would be a little suspicious already. This also raises another question. How has no one ever chased after one of the kids before? This orphanage seems to have been going on for at least a decade, and now we've just discovered that our friends have been shipped off to die? If I was a kid, I'd be running after each and every one of my friends to say goodbye. How has no one ever seen the insides of this gate? Either way, these two kids have just had their lives turned upside down. Waking up from a nightmare, Emma here has a completely new view of the orphanage. Emma and Norman realize that all the regular school-like activities, like exams and such, decide who gets eaten first. But no matter how smart or dumb you are, after the age of 12, everyone is sent off to death. Responsible kids that they are, they decide to make a plan to save all the kids and escape the orphanage. First off, we need to leave this place, but we can't take everyone. Some of these kids have barely escaped the womb, and they're in no condition to be running around the outside. According to early developmental scientists, children over the age of 5 usually have nearly finished cranial development and have some idea of how to consciously make decisions. So what I'm doing is telling all the kids above and around the age of 7 and letting them know about what I've just seen. But we have to pick our words carefully. We're dealing with kids, and kids aren't too good at keeping secrets. If that happens, I'm for sure being sent off to demon hell and to never come back. Seeing that I've been here my whole life, I should know who I can and cannot trust. I'm telling those I trust about what I saw and making sure they're not going to tell anyone else. But the kids under 7 aren't useless. They can be used as bait. Since Mom's prepared to do the most savage things to kill us, we'll be doing the most savage things to escape. Looking at the gap between the bars, it looks just a notch too small for our 11-year-old heads to fit through. So that's where one of the younger kids come into play. To make this as safe as possible, we'll go during the night when Mom's asleep. From there, we can use one of the kids to walk around looking for a switch or something to open the gates. We seem to have about 25 kids, judging by how big the food hall is. When the next kid is sentenced to death, I'm telling all the younger ones to the outer edges of the orphanage and find a big concrete wall. Mom reveals to the others that she's holding a tracker that makes sure none of the kids go missing while they play. Meanwhile, the two kids find a massive wall on the edge of the plantation and make plans to scale it. This quiet kid called Ray finds them and asks what they're up to. The two explain themselves by telling him what they saw the night before. He's shocked, but he believes them and agrees to team up. Gathering in the food hall, Mom introduced a new infant to the family and a tall lady who's probably in on the child-killing business as well. A flashback of the two shows they're not good friends, but simply business partners. The tall lady is scheming to overtake her and become her successor. This new infant is shown to have a scratch near her ear, showing where the tracking devices are stored. Okay, things just got a lot more difficult. But we now know that we've been tracked this whole time. We don't know how it works, but considering it, I can't imagine it's as accurate as a smartphone GPS. Considering the fact that we've spent significant time at the gates and was sitting under the truck, she's not working alone. There must be some pretty costly backing, especially knowing that since there's a constant supply of food, clothing, and shelter to keep us safe, chips inside children, especially infants, are currently unheard of. So whatever technology these guys could have could be something super advanced. I would be inspecting every single little precious kid to see what the frick nuts is going on with these trackers and seeing if there's any way I can manipulate them into breaking it. Depending on how deep the chip is, and it doesn't look too deep, it may be possible to kill it with an electrostatic charge. What we need to do is to cut a hole in a piece of rubber, a PVC pipe, cut it on one end, wear something like running shoes, and you know what, screw it. Just take a knife and cut the ear off of the precious child. It's a lot faster. I'm sure the kid won't mind. In order to train the children, the three hatch a plan to play tag, which works as a disguise while they increase the kids' fitness levels. The tall lady jumps in as well and tells the kids if they can hide for 20 minutes without getting captured. But Ray and Norman manage to outrun her. Later that night, the main three kids have a talk and realize that one of the kids might be a mole sending information to Mom. Things just got a lot more complicated. The kids keep on training. Meanwhile, Norman suggests that their leaving date be in 10 days instead of 45 days to trick Mom. Later on, the main three decide they need to tell more of the kids about their plans to have a better chance of success. Glasses Girl and the tall kid are the next to be let in on the plan. But Norman makes sure not to mention anything about that kid dying earlier to keep them from freaking out. The search for the mole continues with the kids laying a trap by leaving a piece of rope in 2 different places for Mom to find. Suspecting the new members, Norman tells the 2 new recruits different places where the rope is. If the rope is gone on the first floor, the tall kid is the mole. But if it's gone on the second floor, Glasses Girl is the one. The mole slips a note under Mom's door later on that night. Finding that the note is gone, Ray and Norman dial it down to one person. The mole is Ray. Ray lets it out that he's the one sending Mom the group's information. He confesses and lets Norman know that he's been working with Mom for a number of years to save himself to not let Emma know. Ray must be some sort of super genius, or Norman must be a freaking idiot. He's fooled all of us for the longest time and managed to trick us even when we first told him about our escape plan. We know Ray is about 12 years old, which means he's been working with Mom since he was pretty much capable of thought. If I'm Emma or Norman, I'd be pretty doubtful of this guy now. We've all been microchipped and we don't even know what's inside it. Mom could have some sort of crazy technology that lets her control her every move and action. He could be under mind control right now for all we know. We've seen crazier things happen in the last few days. But since he's already in front of us, we should take some time to pick his brain. He seems like a really smart kid and probably knows more than any other child in this house. The older 5 get together and figure out there's a secret room. Think it's too dangerous. The tall kid wants to find out what happened to the girl who got taken away. Him and Glasses Girl go off to see what secret, and Glasses Girl managed to get the key to the secret room. Going inside, they see the toys of all the kids who were killed. While pretty disturbing, they managed to also find a communication device to the orphanage headquarters. Okay, this is a gold mine of information I didn't know before. Leave today. Going to the gates, she meets the mysterious lady called Grandma, who looks to be a rank above the moms. The tall lady tells Grandma about all the bad things Mom's done in the orphanage, but it's all for nothing. A demon comes out of hiding, and Grandma reveals to her that her and Mom have been working together this whole time. By her command, the tall lady is savagely killed by the demon monster. Meanwhile, in the house, Mom gathers Ray and tells him their partnership is over. Before he can react, she locks the door, trapping him in the room. Using the tracker, Mom looks for Emma and Norman, who are currently investigating the massive wall. Luckily for Ray, the tall kid finds him and knocks the door down. While this is going on, Mom finds the others trying to escape. She catches them red-handed and says that they should just accept the fact that their lives have been pretty good so far and give up on leaving. Not agreeing with her statement, Emma grabs Mom and drags her down while Norman grabs the ropes to scale the wall. Out of rage, Mom savagely breaks Emma's leg before telling them that they need to stay, as some of them are the best meat in the orphanage. The two stop resisting, and Norman is told that he's only got 1 day left before he must leave the orphanage. You know what? Maybe she has a point. We don't actually know what our circumstances were before this. We are orphans after all. There's likely a chance that all of us were homeless and would have died without money. Maybe we can use our childlike naivety and to trick her into thinking that the escape is over. Plus, Emma's leg is broken, and as far as that goes, she's now a liability for the group. So I say we leave her, and we'll survive. Sorry, Emma. I'm kidding. We all love Emma. Mom does bring up a good point, though. We need to think about what happens once we get out. For all we know, there could be dangerous animals and killer insects crawling around everywhere. We need to mentally and physically prepare ourselves for what could be a long journey to civilization, assuming we're not stranded in a post-apocalyptic landscape. Once again, and the history of mankind, raising up kids just to send them to death. I love it. In the next scene, Ray gives Norman a taser made by the parts from Mom's gift. The three plan to use the taser to disable his tracker. This gives Norman time to hide in the forest until they wait out the real escape day. Because of this, Ray will likely be the next to go in his place. To avoid this, he plans to injure himself, which will leave him unable to be shipped off, as they only send the kids if they're fully healthy. Before they go to bed, Ray decides to tell the other two about his past. It turns out that he knew about the demons all along, as he does not experience childhood amnesia. This means that he retained all of his memories dating back to when he was a baby. He reveals that from a baby, he was sent to the orphanage, and that beyond the gate is the demon headquarters. There are also the wall with the hidden ropes, just barely managing to climb it. He gets his first glimpse of the outside world. Sadly for him, there's only one more obstacle. There's a massive chasm covering the outskirts of the wall as an extra layer of protection. While the plan was for him to hide in the forest and wait out his deadline, he decides to come back to the orphanage to the shock of absolutely everyone. Well, there's a massive chasm, which is a problem. If I'm Norman, I'm checking the area close to the gate. Obviously, the gate wouldn't lead to a massive hole as well. There's probably a bridge or something that would easily lead out to the forest, or something easier to traverse. Ray said that beyond the gates is the demon headquarters, but from this massive forest landscape, I couldn't tell you if that's true or not, so I'm taking my chances either way. Assuming there is, it's now go time. Tonight I'll be shipped off to certain death. I would wait till right after sundown and assemble all the kids that are fit enough, climb the wall, and make our way down to the bridge. We don't know it. Also determined to save them, she plans to come back before any of them have their 6th birthday. That's pretty badass. It's also probably the best plan you could have made in this situation, but I would disagree with coming back. We now know how big this organization is, with multiple orphanages housing hundreds or even thousands of kids. We also know from the tall lady they've been operating for a long time, decades or even longer. This means they have more power than we can even imagine, and I don't think it's possible for us to get enough resources in less than 2 years to save these kids. Well, heartless, I would decide to leave them behind, because it's terrible. We already have enough on our plate with saving ourselves. I would take the crappy option and get as far away as possible from this crazy orphanage. Before that, though, you know what I would do? I wouldn't use all of the gasoline up on the house. Rather, I would set the whole farm on fire as well. The fire would likely kill Mom and all of the little ones, but oh boo-hoo, cry me a river. This woman has to be stopped. While the kids will die a pretty painful death, this will stop Mom from raising more helpless kids to be eaten. The wildfire would also serve as an element of surprise, showing headquarters that we mean business, and we are some kids that are not to be messed with. With the younger kids safe, Mom calls up headquarters and tells the demons that there have been some escapees. Somehow she manages to climb the wall in time just before Emma crosses the massive hole with the makeshift zip line. In an act of kindness, she removes the pulleys and wishes the kids a safe journey. In a sudden flashback, Mom is shown to have been raised in one of the orphanages herself, but instead of being killed, she was given the choice to become a mom and begin her training. While becoming a mom, she became a mom and gave birth to a beautiful baby boy. The kid she gave birth to was Ray. While her child was taken away as a baby, she remembers Ray as he often hums the same song that she herself used to. With Ray retaining his memories as a baby, he also knows that Mom is his mother. Failing in her mission, Mom goes back to the younger kids and tells them that the older ones have successfully escaped the orphanage. The kids look onwards into the horizon as they experience the morning sun of their very first day of freedom. But if you don't want to end up as a tasty demon Happy Meal,